Say that I'm joined now with mind body wellness expert Jaya Jaya Myra, who's kind enough to join us right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone with all things on what you should and should not eat when it comes to that special day. First and foremost, I got to say thank you so much for joining us on the Fox 5 Live Zone.
Thank you so much for having me today.
I got to tell you, I'm a huge fan of yours. I have been following you for quite some time, and the information,
thank you so much.
well, the information you provide always seems to be key. And so when I found out that I happen to have the opportunity to interview you, oh my gosh, I got so excited. So let's jump right into it. Who would have thought that foods really play a role with regard to getting in the mood?
Yes, it's something that a lot of people don't realize. But with Valentine's Day approaching, there's a lot of us that want to find ways to boost our mood and our morale naturally. Whether you're single, whether you have someone in your life, we all want to elevate our mood. Potentially, if you're single, you might want to find ways to keep that libido tamped down a little bit. And you can do all of this through the foods that you choose to eat or not eat.
Yeah, well, I got to tell you, I'm a guy that kind of likes to keep my breath fresh. So every now and then I'll pop let's say a stick of gum. If not, maybe a couple of breath mints. But word is I should steer away from mint.
That's very true. And it's counterintuitive because people, if they're going out on a date, like you said, you want your breath to be fresh. So most gums, mints have mint flavor in them. Mint is actually something that can lower your libido and get you out of the mood. So I would opt for something that was maybe a little bit more warm, like a cinnamon, and something that doesn't actually have peppermint or spearmint in it.
Well, that's good. That means my breath can still be so fresh and so clean, as they say, but at the same time, just make sure it's not minty fresh. I guess that's what you're alluding to.
That's right.
Hey, so outside of that, I love licorice. In my case, you know, the Twizzlers and whatnot, plus they're red. It kind of goes hand in hand with Valentine's Day, but once again, that's a no-no.
Yes, licorice contains a compound which is actually pretty hard to pronounce, so I'm not going to try, but it can affect your hormone levels and potentially decrease your libido. So it's another one of those things that you want to steer clear of if you're going out on a date or you and your partner want to have your libido high for that Valentine's Day special fun.
So a lot of folks say, you know what, we live in a day and age where you got to be healthy. You got to eat healthy. And some folks say with regard to that means, well, consuming soy products. But once again, that's probably not the way to go when it comes to Valentine's Day.
Soy can actually boost your mood naturally, but it would be better suited towards women, especially if their estrogen levels tend to be on the low side. But for men, if they eat foods that contain estrogen in them, it can actually counteract the testosterone, which is going to boost the libido. So especially if you're a man, I would avoid the soy-based products, the tofu, the soy milk, things of that nature. Go towards more foods which may boost your testosterone levels naturally.
Hey, that makes sense. I could fully understand that. And you'll probably want to thank you the next day. One thing we should avoid, though, happens to be, well, food with high fat content. Is that correct? Especially with regard to dairy.
Yes, dairy in general can be inflammatory. While it can boost your mood naturally, it's also inflammatory, so it can have detrimental effects on your mood. So say you're going on a date, it may make it a little bit more difficult to have a good conversation, to feel like you're able to connect with your partner in a meaningful way. And just avoiding those heavier foods in general is going to make you feel a little bit more comfortable. I'm not saying that you have to go for the salads or anything, but go for foods which are going to be uplifting, which are going to boost your mood and energy naturally, things that help your body to produce serotonin and oxytocin and those other things which may boost your libido naturally as well. If you want a really great suggestion, super healthy, go for the celery.
Really?
Celery is a great one because it actually has compounds which help to stimulate pheromone production in both men and women. And it actually has another chemical compound in it that helps to promote blood flow naturally. So it's like a more natural form of Viagra.
I'm writing this down.
Celery this Valentine's Day.
I'm writing this down right now as you speak. No, I fully understand. Just give me 1 second as I write this down because I'm pretty sure everyone else is writing it down as well. And pretty soon, all the stores in this area are going to sell out of celery.
We're going to be out of celery.
Because you said so. Hey, I got to ask, and I mean, we hear this all the time. And gosh, I guess I've heard it ever since I was a teenager. And that happens to be oysters, 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 an aphrodisiac.
Yes. That's true. But that's for men again. Oysters are one of those things which can boost testosterone levels naturally. And while it can have that impact in women as well, it's going to be a lot more powerful in men. So if you're a guy, maybe go for the oysters. I don't know if your lady date is going to be as interested in kissing you if you have eaten oysters, though. So you might want to steer towards those other things, which can boost your mood and elevate your conversation without messing with things that might actually inhibit you from having that closeness and connection you want with your partner.
Yeah, of course, on Valentine's Day, you're either going to get some flowers or some chocolate. But in this case, perhaps it's better to get dark chocolate.
Absolutely. Dark chocolate has more of those chemical compounds in it, which are going to boost your mood naturally. They also tend to have a little bit less processed sugar and things than your milk chocolates would. So I would say if it's possible, go for your dark chocolate, go for your vegan chocolate options. These things can actually boost your mood naturally and have a positive impact on mood if you find chocolates that are more natural and don't come loaded with all the additional processed sugars. If you have too much processed sugar, it can actually have the opposite impact on your mood, get you a little bit high-strung, and then cause those highs and lows, which you want to avoid on a special day like Valentine's.
Okay, so I wrote in my notes, plenty of celery and dark chocolate.
Yes.
The question is, at what point should I start, well, let's say, eating all of the above?
That is an excellent question. I would definitely say not just the day of, maybe up to a couple of days in advance. You can start letting this get into your system, letting your body digest these things, start to impact your mood in a more natural way. Of course, if you just have these things the day of, there's nothing wrong with that. It can still have a powerful impact on your mood, your overall well-being. But if you want to prime your system a couple days in advance, that is always recommended.
And of course, I got to ask, if I want to just cheat just a little bit, is it good for me to perhaps make a run or a beeline to the local GNC to perhaps make sure I could actually digest these in the form of a pill?
It could be. Some people do benefit from taking digestive enzymes, particularly if you do eat dairy or other lactose-based products. The body naturally loses the digestive enzymes to process dairy as you get older. So it definitely doesn't help to pick up some digestive enzymes if you think that that would be beneficial to you, whether that's specifically for dairy or just for foods in general. Definitely go for it. It's never going to hurt you. It's going to improve your overall well-being.
Yeah, before we let you go, I want to give you the opportunity to promote your book. It's entitled The Soul of Purpose. I got a chance to peruse through it. I'm really excited about this.
Oh, thank you so much. I love it. It's my life's work. I like helping people understand the connection between your purpose and your health and well-being.
Awesome. Well, once again, we've been speaking with none other than Jaya Jaya Myra. I love your name, by the way. It's just so cool.
Thank you.
Mind, body, wellness expert, kind enough to join us right here on the Fox 5 Live Zone. I'm going to go take a break, and while I do so, I'm going to go grab some celery.
Grab some celery. That's right.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, guys, stick around. We're going to take a quick break. More Fox 5 Live Zone coming up.